Being able to lurk in Valorant is one of the strongest skills to have in this game, and KRX's MaKo destroyed Paper X with his lurks all throughout this match. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you how to lurk, when not to lurk, how not to lurk. You're going to see all of it. So we're going to start with the round after pistol round. KRX took the pistol, and something I want you to keep in mind is KRX's buy. So normally I preach about how when your team has like a full buy, you don't really want to lurk in concerned that you accidentally dropped your vandal or rifle or whatever to the enemy team while you're lurking, right? And if you're by yourself, that means the defense can pick up that weapon and use it against your teammates to possibly snowball and win the round. But here, KRX have opted for a double rifle plus martial buy, and that leaves 2 ghosts on 2 players: MaKo, our main character, our main lurker, and Bane. Now, when you don't have a gun like a ghost or like a sheriff, when you have a pistol, when you don't have a gun, it's okay for you to go lurk on your own, to go take risks, to go gather your team information. And you see pro teams do this all the time. You see them send usually one player on their own to go investigate, to go snuff out, are the defense stacked here? Is this side open? Should my team come back to me? And that information can heavily affect whether or not your team wins a round. So here you see that KRX are mostly grouped towards A, are trying to find a kill with their rifles, with their martial, and with their guardian. They're trying to get somebody peeking for info, somebody jump spotting, someone, a defender trying to get an early read on the attack. But if you look at MaKo, he's all by himself in B main, and he's calling how he doesn't see anybody. But there's an issue, right? The knife just tagged 2 players. It just tagged, I believe, Omen and Neon. I can't really tell. It's hard to tell without a replay system. But regardless, I think MaKo is telling his team to come back to him. He's calling his team back. But there's an issue. MaKo doesn't know if site is free. He doesn't know what's in this area, right? This is a big question mark. He doesn't know what lies in this box that we call B site, right? So he's gonna stop right here, and he's gonna wait for his team to get here, right? He's gonna creep out just a little bit, make it out to this gubby, and he doesn't really have a whole lot of information for his team. Now, had MaKo taken a bigger risk with his pistol and maybe just said screw it and just walked all the way through site or walked all the way through here, he'd been able to blindside the defense as they flood back into site. Paper X realize or have the read or are gambling that KRX aren't going A based off the information that KRX gathered while they were grouped up in A main, and they're going to go B. So Paper X left early enough in time to contest KRX's execute with 13 seconds left and the spike being nowhere near ready to be planted.
Especially if they can go ahead and intercept this spike plant. That could just be everything for them. Push forward into the smoke and be able to find the one. And Paper X are doing it. It's 6 seconds remaining. Spike gonna be grabbed up, and Envy is still here. Pushes out of the smoke. Takes a hell of a long time, but that's it. It's more than enough. The round is theirs.
And now you might be wondering to yourself, Teach, you said MaKo destroyed Paper X. Well, you know me, Chad. I'm going to show you the good and the bad, and most of this video is going to be good. And MaKo makes it up for his team in this round. KRX are formed in a 4-1. MaKo's going to solo lurk up mid, and he's going to do it pretty aggressively. So I'm going to go ahead and play. The offense are going to make a ton of noise in A main. The Viper wall's already down. We see a recon. We see a flash. We hear a jet updraft. It is very clear as day that it is A, right? And now in mid, we see that Viper has lobbed. MaKo has lobbed his poison room for double door, and we also have a Harbor Cove for this mid cross. This allows MaKo to waste no time. He wastes no time while on his own. By the way, because his team bought like that last round, we can afford a Guardian and Vandal into this round to make it semi-winnable, to make sure there's some sort of win condition, because we decided to buy 2 pistols or only have 2. Because we decided to have 2 people not buy and only have pistols the previous round. So now when your team is at a disadvantage like this, you kind of have to take risks. And normally you don't want to lurk this aggressively, because if you die, your lurk's already kind of, it was kind of just a waste, right? You can get flanked. You lose your team a ton of map control if they get stalled. You don't really want to make an aggressive lurk this fast. But when your team is on an eco and they need somebody to make a play, doing this, lurking at this speed and not waiting for rotates to come, not playing for rotates and instead playing to make an aggressive play, is the right play. So, recon, cloudburst, the offense are making so much noise. Neon in mid is investigating this mid smoke, but it's too late. Viper's already made it into double door, and look what happens. Bah! Bah! gets to. That completely opens up the site for KRX. And spoiler alert, they win a round that they shouldn't, where they only had 2 rifles invested into it. And that, my friends, is a momentum changer. So, in the round we skipped, I just want to note that MaKo doesn't lurk, and I think that's really important when you're lurking in your ranked games or premier games. You don't want to lurk every round. You don't want to show the defense the same play, time and time again, because that's how you get predictable and that's how you get readable. So, MaKo didn't lurk last round, but he's back at it again this round. We're both back. Both teams are back on full buys, and as you can see, K-Rex earned another 4-1. MaKo is in mid on his own. And he's actually going to use Paper X's wall to his advantage. So the round's going to start. The offense is going to make a bunch of noise. The 0 point goes in. But notice how he lurks up behind this toxic screen. And when you're lurking, you want to isolate your angles. You want to be you don't want to expose yourself to so many angles at the same time, right? So by tucking into this wall and sort of hiding into where this door area is, right? You're going to see the toxic screen is going to drop. He isolates something doesn't expect him. Gets shot, but MaKo isn't finished. He's not finished with his lurk. He knows that he's dragging over a lot of the defense's attention, and it's going to make K-Rex's A site hit a lot easier if he can manage to drag more crosshairs onto him, right? So the Harbor Cove goes up, but it's placed in such a way that he ducks into it, right? He's looking for rotators. He's looking to take this fight again. And now in A, it's pandemonium. There's mollies, recon, snake bites, whirlpools. People are getting recon, shot, spammed. But back in mid, look at MaKo. He's made it through the Harbor Cove. He's looking for something. He's looking for these kills. And he realizes, oh, my team needs help. They're not rotating. The defense aren't rotating through spawn anymore. Or through mid anymore. They're not. They're all rotating through spawn. And if they're rotating through spawn and the defense are so preoccupied on stopping this plant and fighting the offense head on, MaKo might have a timing, right? He's telling to his team, yo, just chill, just chill, just chill. Relax, relax. I'm going to kill them all. Obviously not relaxing, but he makes it up to double door. Bah, gets one. Bah. Oh yeah, he doesn't kill that guy. But he makes something 1 HP. And with an op, that's really important because now it makes this round a lot easier for the offense. So now, if you're a lurker in Valorant, if you like lurking, you're going to know this round a little too well. You know, like when you go on a lurk and all your team dies and then everyone's kind of just staring at you like, oh, hey there, and then they start flaming you like, oh, maybe you shouldn't lurk next time, maybe you should come with us, when in reality you lurking had nothing to do with why they lost the round. Well, that's what happens here. So spoiler alert, the offense they're going to end up going A. The defense are heavy stacked towards B. They have some sort of read, I don't know why, but that's not what's important. So the offense are going to pressure mid. We got a knife, we have a cove, and then we're going to go into A, while our Viper has a more passive lurk this time up against Pillar in mid, right? She's just going to sit here. MaKo for the past 3 rounds has been lurking up in this area, so he's expecting that the defense are finally going to try and do something about him. So by playing in a more passive position, maybe he can, pick off rotates when the defense try to come down here, right? So his job is to kill off rotates, right? That is his job. And right now, Paper X basically have a pretty open site. They get team flash, whatever. I'm sorry, KRX have an open site. Freeing takes on Divide. They start planting, but look at where KO's planting. In the middle of the open. So I'm going to hit play. The defense are going to walk through, and there's just going to be a guy sitting here. So he goes down. Then they start panicking. Forsaken gets another. Envy gets one, trying to swing off each other. And this whole entire round kind of just falls apart because we decided to plant in the open while we're exposed to everything. And I just went into a custom game. It's not like you can plant for mid if you plant anywhere in here or even here. You can't really plant for mid. And if you look at Sova and MaKo, like their plan was to have MaKo be on an aggressive lurk, like he fights to the death, or like he lurks pretty aggressively if rotates never come, and then Sova takes his spot in the lurk, and they don't expect the double lurk from Sova. But everything kind of just falls apart when the spike gets planted, right? But like there's no one really here to stall for these lurks to happen, right? When you have lurks like this, you kind of want to stall and play passive so these two have time to work their magic. So next time you're playing in ranked and your lurk is the last one alive, don't be quick to flame them right away. It's better to think about like what could have gone differently in the round that isn't the lurk. Like maybe you did something wrong and it's not your lurk's fault. I just thought this round was pretty funny because I know that feeling all too well. Now, because last round went so horribly for KRX, and this lurk didn't really get any value, and the defense never saw him, I'm pretty sure MaKo's assuming that, hey, PaperX didn't see me lurk last round. Let me try it again. So that's what's going to happen. Now, KRX are on a little bit of a broken buy. They have a couple rifles that are win conditions, but what ends up winning the round isn't any of the rifles. It's actually MaKo's lurk, you know, because you're watching a lurking video. So the round's going to start. The offense are going to make a bunch of noise mid. We see a smoke here. We see a smoke here. Jet even taps the door. We knife A. Okay, we're getting ready to either slam A or split A. But with MaKo lurking in mid, he's going to try and do his own thing. The offense, they're walking up into mid while MaKo walks up behind his smokes. He swings into his Harbor's Cove. And he knows that if the defense want to rotate quickly to A, they have to come through him. They have to come through mid. But eventually he's like, okay, they're not rotating this way. Let me go walk up towards double door. And you can see that PaperX are ready for this lurk. You see Envy up against in this corner. He's popping his drone and he's going to lurk. He's going to look for the Viper. These smokes just went down. Jet wants to clear out mid, but she doesn't want to just give her life away to MaKo, right? So he asks his Sova to drone, or Sova's droning for her or whatever. And they're looking for this guy. They're looking for MaKo. And because they're looking for him, and he's going to get tagged by this drone, the defense, look closely at the minimap. Hopefully I stopped it in time. Yeah. Everybody is looking at this guy. Neon, Omen, Sova, Jet. Everybody's looking at this one guy. And because they're so worried about this Viper lurk with a sheriff, they're not ready to hold the site. Envy takes out MaKo, but it doesn't matter. They distracted Jing long enough so they can get in the site. Envy's out of position. Jing's out of position. Everyone's out of position. And now it's a 3v3 in a round that PaperX should be winning. KRX don't have weapons, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and play it out, but you can see that the lurk here was truly the MVP. It's a 2v2. Okay, I actually don't remember who wins this round, but again, Bane flashes through the wall, gets one, and yeah, you can see PaperX lose this round. The lurk was the MVP. You know, like I said, you don't want to lurk every round. You want to switch it up, throw the defense for loops, and that's what's happening here in this round. So the round's going to start pretty passively. We're going to have a couple smokes in mid, right? We have the Viper smoke, we got the Harbor Cove, we got the Recon, right? The KRX are basically just playing pretty passive because the defense have such big ults online. Like Sova's ult can reach across the map. You have something's Blade Storm, Forsaken's Overdrive. Odds are PaperX are itching to use one of these three ultimates. Even Jing's from the shadows. You know PaperX love ulting into spawn. But regardless, eventually the offense are going to form into a pretty standard A split. And they're going to contact up mid, and the defense in the meantime, they have full info on B. They have full info. They know it's not B. The defense are primed to fight for A main, and and the defense know that based off the past few rounds that MaKo's been lurking on his own in mid. And with a more risque mid smoke, Devi thinks that maybe I can punish this lurk. Maybe MaKo isn't, MaKo can't hold everything. He can't clear out this, watch double door, and get ready to go out sight, and watch this smoke all at the same time. But that conditioning works against Devi. Devi is met with 3 different people. Devi gets traded, and now the A split's on. KO doesn't feel comfortable going A main by himself, but the defense don't know that, so they still feel like they're being crunched. And MaKo's just killing everybody. He kills one guy yellow. He kills another guy. Granted, this isn't about lurking anymore. This is about MaKo fragging out, right? 3v2. MaKo has his pit. And again, he wins this round for his team with another style of lurk. He's going with his team. He's not by himself. PaperX expected him to be by himself, and they get destroyed for it. And then, because he's with his team, he has his Viper pit to secure the round. We've seen aggressive lurks. We've seen no lurks going with the team. We've seen pretty standard lurks. We've seen double lurks. And now, after all this, MaKo's going for a passive lurk. Probably the most passive one you'll see this game. And now, in ranked, you have to understand when's the best time to passive lurk. When's the best time to aggressive lurk. When's the best time to go with my team. And here, MaKo, he's going to lurk in the most passive way possible. But if you do this in ranked too often, it's going to look like baiting, and it's going to look like you're doing nothing. So you have to be careful when going about this style of lurk that I'm about to show you. So the offense are going A. They have taken A main secure. Sova drone goes out. It's going to tag something barely dodges it and barely gets out with his life, for that matter. But look at MaKo this entire time while all this noise is happening. He's not on pillar. He's not in door. He is literally bot mid, waiting for the defense to rotate or flank or make some sort of footsteps. And PaperX are looking for him. They're wasting time, burning fuel, burning energy, looking for this guy. Neon even opens the door, and MaKo's like, what the hell? Sova goes back to check it, realizes that nobody's there, but MaKo still hasn't moved. The spike has planted. Paper X's plan, or KRX's plan this round, is to stall. Just stall. Buy me time. Buy me time. And you see it with Sova and Spawn with double shots. You have Harbor back in Spawn. You have even Hyomin. He's backing down. He updrafts. He's trying to buy his team time. But look, MaKo's here. He kills 2. Kills a 3rd. Paper X had no idea that MaKo was coming in for this type of lurk. He took so long to get from here all the way through double door. And KRX stalled for him just long enough that it took Paper X by surprise. And they had absolutely no time to defuse the spike. So if you want to lurk like this, study this video, study MaKo. He's great at it. And if you want to watch these games with me live, I watch party all the time on my Twitch. Link in the description below. And if you want to see more Viper masterclasses like this, check out this video to my right and your left.